Alright everybody, what's going on? So I've got some explaining to do. Almost 700 of you guys saw that I bought a 96 crew cab F350 7.3, and within hours of posting the video I had to remove it. And you guys were commenting, asking why. I had it posted on Instagram, I had to remove it. I had it posted on TikTok, I had to remove it. Now I keep saying I had to remove it. I didn't have to. Technically the video is still on YouTube. It's private, so no one can see it but myself. I could relist it, but I didn't want something there that wasn't going to have anything further. And I say that, and I had already had 3 other videos filmed for the truck. I had already bought stuff for the truck, and I had to sell it. The truck's already gone. I haven't had it for over a week now. I originally bought the truck on August 16th. I sold the Chevy almost 2 weeks prior to. I'd sold the Chevy. We went down to my mother-in-law's house. We stayed the weekend down there. Came back home, then went and looked at a truck the next day. Didn't like it. Wasn't in the same condition that I was told it was in. And then the next weekend we went back down to where I'm from, hung out with some friends, and I found the 96 for sale. Went and looked at it. He didn't have the paper title. All he had was the e-title, so I had to stay down there. My girlfriend came back home. I stayed at a friend's house, and we went and picked up the truck on a Monday morning from the tag office. Got the title, got everything. Ended up knowing the dude's family. I actually dated his niece when I was younger. I played football with his youngest son. Friends with his sister because, I dated her daughter. And friends with his other niece because she was in my grade and I dated her older sister. So I ended up knowing the guy. He handed me the title. I saw his last name. His last name being Tisdale. I'm not really going to hide much of his information. I'm not going to say everything, but his last name was Tisdale. And I asked him, I was like, hey, are you related to such and such? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, no way, I played football with him. And I was like, so you must be related to such and such. And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I dated her in middle school. Like, small world, crazy. And he's like, yeah, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. Like, super cool guy. Like, thought he was super honest. And I told him, like, yeah, man, I have a hard time, like, buying stuff from people because I don't trust people. I've been screwed over so many times. Like, FCK light bars did a big number on me with how bad they screwed me over. I was 20 years old and they took $519 from me. That made it super hard to pay rent, made it super hard to pay bills, and it took a toll on me. Luckily, I had a decent paying job and I wasn't completely stupid with my money and I was able to still pay bills and everything, but it hurt a lot. So, like, after that incident with FCK light bars, and if you haven't seen that video, click right up here because FCK is screwing truck builders all around the country. Kids that are just getting into the truck scene, trying to make a name for themselves, they have a company reach out and say, hey, you want a sponsorship? And they screw you over, steal your money, and give you shit products. I'm not jumping into that. There's a whole video on it. Click right up here and check it out. But I was telling this guy, like, look, I've been screwed over, blah, blah, I don't trust people. Just like making small talk. Like, he was waiting for his ride to come pick him up, so I was just making small talk, talking with him. And he's like, oh, no, man, I'm super upfront and honest and everything. Like, I don't want to screw anybody over, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I really respect that, and it's nice that I actually, like, know your family and everything because, I feel like you'd be more obligated to be honest with me. And dude seemed super honest. He was my parents' age. He's in his late 40s. I think he's like 48 years old. Like, I'm 23, 48 years old. He's over double my age. Like, you have no reason to lie to me. You have no reason to take my money from me, anything like that. I paid $9,000 for the truck. It on the dash said 322,000 miles when I got it. And after I bought it, I noticed there was a window sticker up in the corner on the windshield. And it said mileage 398,000. And I was like, weird, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would an oil change be 60,000? Like, that doesn't make sense. And so I showed Brandon, my buddy. You guys see him in a lot of videos if you watch the videos. And we both were like, I wonder if I got odometer swapped. Like, I wonder if someone pulled the cluster out, put another cluster in. Like, this is odd. Then we found some paperwork in the glove box of some work he said had been done on it. He said there's paperwork for the work done on it. He said he had like $4,000 worth of work done to it, and he did. I mean, there was receipts for it, but in those receipts, the mileage said 395,000 is how many miles were on the truck when the work was done. And I was like, nice. So that means the truck has at around 400,000. He just cluster swapped it. And so I kind of didn't think much of it. I was just like, whatever. The truck's in great shape if it's got 400,000 miles. Like, truck's in phenomenal shape. Doesn't leak a drop of anything. I mean, underneath is spotless. I mean, it's in great shape. Truck runs good, everything. And then I recorded the whole video and everything. That was on Monday. Tuesday morning, we actually went to Walmart. I was gonna buy a carpet extractor. I was gonna completely pull the entire interior out. I bought window tint. I was gonna retint the front windows. I bought a radio for it. I was gonna do all this stuff, and I got a phone call while I was in Walmart that my grandmother had just passed away from COVID-19. She had been in the hospital for about a month, not a month, about a week. It was close to 5 days, and we got the phone call that she was no longer going to make it. She was on her way out of this world. So immediately just dropped everything in the store. We were in my girlfriend's car. We ran home. She had to work the next day, so the plan was I was going to drive the truck down there. I was going to bring all the paperwork and everything from it with me, and I was just going to go ahead and get it registered and everything while we were down there. And she was going to drive her car. She was going to drive back home that night. It's a 3-hour drive away, and I was going to stay the night down there at my sister's house. Well, truck wouldn't start. Batteries were dead. Sat there and jumped it off. My girlfriend's like, take the Lexus, take the Lexus. I'm like, no, I want to take my new truck. Oh, I just bought this truck yesterday. I want to drive it. I want to enjoy it. If I'm not going to be home for a couple days, I at least want to have my new truck. So finally get the truck started. I finally told myself, like, if it doesn't start this time, I'm not taking it. And it started. Well, we jump on the road. We jump on the interstate. We're running 80, which the 96 did not want to do. I mean, it was doing it, but I knew it didn't want to do it. And so I was like, we need to slow down. And so slowed down to 75. And I'm driving, I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, man, it sure looks like there's white smoke coming out behind me. I'm like, hey, is it smoking behind me? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit, that's not good. Slow down to 70. Still smoking? Yeah. Shit, that's not good. Then she gets behind me, and I'm going, and still see the smoke. And she's like, is it raining? It's not raining in front of me. So I'm like, nice. My turbo just blew out. It's blowing oil out behind me. She thinks it's raining. Well, luckily that wasn't the case. And then she asked again, is it raining? I'm like, no, it's not raining. It's not raining. Your car's getting wet. Is there something coming from my truck? The truck I just bought yesterday, and we're on the way to see my deceased grandmother, and this is happening. So it was just fantastic. Truck blew a return line coming off the fuel bowl. There's 2 lines that go to each head. They return the fuel back to the tank. It blew the one on the passenger side and was dumping fuel out fast. I mean, within a matter of like 2.5 minutes, it dumped half a tank of fuel. And so we got it off the interstate, pulled into a gas station, just dumping fuel out. And immediately I'm like, I can't afford a tow truck. So I'm like, going in the gas station. I spent $30 on gas station tools because I didn't have any in the truck with me. I mean, I just bought the truck the day before. Bought all these tools trying to find what the problem was. Truck is super hot. I actually had to say my goodbyes to my grandmother in the parking lot of the Shell gas station. Wonderful. And then continued working on the truck, and I finally figured out, like, I'm not going to be able to fix this in the gas station parking lot. So I had Roadside with Progressive. I pay monthly for roadside assistance for this reason. I'm going through, there's options. They can bring you a emergency toolkit, which I don't know what that would consist of. They can bring you fuel, they can do roadside repair, or they can just tow. And I'm like, look, we still need to get down there. Just tow the truck. And they're like, all right, where do you need it taken? I'm like 45 minutes from my house. I'm like, just take it here. And they're like, there's a 15-mile limit for tow, and your house is 37 miles away. I'm like, what the fuck is a 15-mile limit? What? I could walk that. And you're gonna tell me that's my limit? So I was pissed. Luckily, my girlfriend and her dad all have AAA, and luckily it doesn't matter the vehicle, it matters where the driver is. And she got AAA, came and picked up the truck, we left, called one of my neighbors. Thank you, Molly and Brian, for the help with that. That was insane. Thank you guys so much. My neighbors, Molly and Brian. Brian came out and waited on the truck to be dropped off. He told him where to drop it. I don't know if he had to sign or anything, but thank you. And we continued to Florida. So I was like, I'll deal with it when I get back. We come back and I start diagnosing what's wrong with it. I filmed an entire video of replacing the lines and having to go to a hydraulic shop, dealing with a hydraulic shop overcharging an insane amount. I made a post on Facebook in one of the groups I'm in. Hey, like, where do I buy these lines? And they're like, you can buy them from Riff Raff Diesel. It was going to be like 70 bucks for both of them. And they're like, but you can go to a hydraulic shop and get them for like a quarter of the price. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, we'll do that. So I go to a hydraulic shop, takes my broken lines, goes in the back, comes back out a couple minutes later, says, what's going through these? Said diesel. Said, okay. Goes to the back, comes back out a couple minutes later. How are you paying? I said, card. Rings everything up. He says, that'll be $111. And I was like, what? $111? So, dude, I can buy them brand new online for $75. Like, $111? I was like, everyone told me it'd be cheaper to come here, not almost double. And he's like, yeah, it's because of these special fittings that are on here and the type of line it is, blah, blah. It's freaking, one was 11 inches and one was 7 inches. Like, not even 2 foot worth of line. And you're telling me it's $111? So I was like, I mean, you already made the lines. I don't want to tell you to just like scrap the shit. I ain't buying it. But I'm like, I don't want to pay $111 when I can buy it for $40 cheaper online. Like, I mean, anyone with common sense is not going to pay $40 more just because we're in a shop. So I was like full Karen. I felt bad, but like my circumstances, just bought the truck broke down, death from immediate family. I was not in the mood. So he went and got the manager. I told the manager, like, look, I can buy it from Riff Raff Diesel for $75. And he's like, oh, that's the problem with people these days. Small businesses are going to go out of business because all these people are just buying stuff online. You see, they can only mark it up 20% and stay in business. If we mark it up 20%, we'll be out of business next month. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, that's your number one problem. You're ripping people off. If you're marking up over 20%, obviously you don't have enough clientele and you don't have enough customers or anything. Because people aren't buying your shit because you're overcharging. Like $111 compared to $70. Like, hell yeah, I'm going to buy $70. Stupid. So he was nice. He actually made it $75. And I bought it and I will probably never buy something from there again. Got back home, got it replaced. Truck ran, drove. Good. Finished that video. And then I posted the buying the truck video. And one of you guys commented saying, those trucks roll back when they hit 400,000 miles on the odometer. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would Ford do that? When it hits 400, it rolls back to 300? That doesn't make sense. So, I'm like, I'm going to ask this guy, like, maybe he'll be honest with me. Like, hey, look, I saw the mileage on this paperwork was 395. Truck says 323 now. What's going on with that? So I messaged him and he's like, oh yeah, they mistyped the odometer. They meant to put a 2, they hit a 3. They didn't realize it until I got there to pick up the truck. I told him it wasn't a big deal because I own the truck and I don't plan on getting rid of it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so they were just going to fix it next time I came in for an oil change. And next time I came in for an oil change, well, next time I was ready for an oil change, I did it myself. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, shops don't, like, if they mistype something like that, they normally just reprint it. Like, it's like 3 pieces of paper. Like, not that big of a deal. So I'm like, something doesn't sit right here. But he like, here, you can call them Monday, because it was like Friday night or something like that. So you can call them Monday and ask them. You can call my brother and ask him. I bought the truck from him. Like, the miles on the dash is 100% accurate. And I'm like, It's not sitting right with me. So I go on Carfax and get on Carfax, put in my VIN number, I pay the whole like $40 or whatever. First thing that comes up says this vehicle is subject to odometer rollback. Nice. So then I look. Truck hit 400K in 2012. The paper I saw, 2019, that's when it hit 500K. Yeah, rough. So immediately I was like, shit, I have a 500,000-mile truck. Nice. So I immediately ordered the AC high pressure line that was wrong with it. I fixed that, so AC worked perfect. I checked everything underneath the hood. Everything was fine. I made sure the truck was in tip-top running condition. Only thing it needed was batteries. I wasn't about to spend $400 on batteries for a truck I'm selling. And went out, cleaned it, took pictures of it, posted it for sale. I posted it for 14. I mean, it's a 96 with zero rust. Zero rust. It's a 7.3 that doesn't leak any oil. And an E4OD that shifts perfectly fine and doesn't leak anything. So yeah, I listed it for 14K. And I sold it for 11. I sold it to a Mexican in Jasper, Florida that is going to use it as a work truck. He test drove it, looked everything over, sold the truck. And honestly, I would have kept it, but I didn't trust 500,000 miles. Like, truck was in amazing shape, but I just didn't trust it. So I sold it. And now I'm on the hunt for a new vehicle. But if you can't tell from my voice, we went to the funeral for my grandmother and I caught COVID. Nice. Just another like, here you go. I got a thumbs up from life. And I got another one for it too. But yeah, my girlfriend and I both caught COVID from the funeral. I'm on like day 10 now. She's already been cleared to go back to work. She got symptoms before I did. I got symptoms after her. And honestly, the end has been the worst for me. The beginning, it was just like a head cold, like, yeah, I'm sick, whatever. And then the end, I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't taste. I can't smell. I really can't breathe. Like, if I take a deep breath, knocks the air out of me. It's weird. COVID has been the weirdest virus I have ever had in my life. It attacks every part of your body. Started out like head congestion, like a bad head cold, like sore throat, coughing, congestion. And then it went from that to like really bad stomach pain and like stomach issues in the bathroom and like bad. And then like couldn't eat and like not high fevers, like high 101, like 101.9 all the way down to like the hundreds. Never really anything higher than that. But then like really bad fever sweats at night, like to the point where like my shirt was so wet it was like I got out of a pool, like sweating that bad, and just like restless, could not sleep, just randomly sweating all throughout the day, no appetite whatsoever. And then when I lost my taste, I like really didn't want to eat because I'm like, you can't taste it. Like, what's the fun in eating if you can't taste it? I mean, honestly, I feel bad if there's somebody out there that like cannot taste permanently, because that sucks. And then like not smelling. I had a bowl of cereal. The milk was supposed to expire in one day. Pretty sure when I ate it, the milk was expired because the very next day the milk had like some weird like swirls and stuff in it that isn't supposed to be there. But I couldn't smell the milk, so I took the risk. But yeah, this is my explanation of why I bought and sold my dream diesel in 2 weeks, where I've been for the last 2 weeks, why my video just disappeared off YouTube. And hopefully I'll be back to normal soon, because I've got a bunch of products from companies that I made promises to make videos on, and I'm like walking a thin line between life and death, and other people in my family have already crossed the line, and then the truck just didn't work out. So I'm still truck shopping. I'm actually possibly going to look at one in a couple days. I've already went and looked at two. That lied about both of them. Don't tell me it doesn't leak oil and I get there and it looks like it drove through a lake of oil. I don't get people are like, oh yeah, it doesn't leak at all. And I get there and they're like, oh yeah, I put a cord in it every 2 weeks. I'm like, what? That's a big difference. I hate liars. Don't lie. Lying's not cool. Like, shouldn't get your ass beat. Like, Simple as that. Like, you lie, you're your ass beat. I might not beat your ass, but someone might. Simple as that. So if you guys missed me, drop a like on the video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. My subscriber count has like, well, not count, but like the number per week or whatever has like plummeted. Ad revenue plummeted. Views plummeted. Watch time plummeted. So yeah, this has been great. I'm hoping to be back soon. I have front and rear move bumpers for the Ford. I have some mid-tuning rock lights that need to be installed on a vehicle. I have some aux beam pods that need to be installed. An aux beam 8-gain switch that needs to be installed. Some Oxydo headlight bulbs that need to be installed. I'm also giving some away. Also have some R1 concept brake pads for the Ford that need to be installed. What else is there? Oh, we've got a 12 count white LED rock light kit to get installed. Yeah, I've got all these things to install, but I don't have the energy to install them, so that's nice. So I at least want to film this video for you guys, give you guys something to watch, because after spending 10 days on my couch, I realized people don't upload enough on YouTube. You guys need to upload like 4 times a day, because I'm out of stuff to watch. I've watched everything on Netflix and everything on YouTube. I'm bored. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll be having videos coming out soon, because I kind of need to make videos, and I kind of miss making them, like, realistically. Like, sitting in this house is driving me insane. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.